We just knew that if we had fallen because of that, and it was my fault, I would have quit content creation. That would have been the end.
Oh, come on. You're going to quit content creation over a Minecraft tournament.
I would have quit everything. I would have
thrown
my computer into the streets.
Didn't it take you like 2 or 3 hours to do like one parkour course?
Shush. I apologize profusely to every single member of MCC Rising because
you played Fortnite on Channel 5 with Jeremy. God, how do you pronounce it? Vine? Oh no, how did you pronounce
Jeremy
it?
Vine, yes.
Jeremy Vine. Them turkeys like making you go through that makes Christmas dinner even more enjoyable.
So they not only did they deliver the coin and didn't deliver it properly, they didn't even take it to the right door.
Alright lads, welcome back to the Midweek MC podcast. The part of the podcast where I am joined with the amazing co-host who, fortunate enough for me even, and listeners, is here this week. AJ, welcome back.
Thank you very much for having me back. It's wonderful to be back on this podcast yet again. Back on InsideMC, where I belong.
Where you belong, where you thrive, AJ. Not the only place you thrive, but one of the places you thrive.
Exactly.
And it's great because we're joined with someone decently cool today, I'd say. They have a really beautiful voice.
Decently?
That's why one thing I can say is they have an absolutely beautiful voice. I just love it, and I can't wait to edit this podcast back and hear it. I'll let you introduce them in a better way than just decently, AJ.
Oh, we have the one, the only, WadeBox.
Hello.
How are you today?
How's it going? I'm good. How are you two?
I'm doing decent, thank you.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm happy to have you on the podcast.
I'm excited to be here.
So long, it is an honor to have you on.
I love that it was a message that you put up about that you were looking for more creators to be involved. I think I just swung a message straight away, and then I think I got back, oh yeah, well, if we've got availability, and I'm assuming then you clocked and went, oh no, it's Wade. Yes, come in.
Well, I'll be honest with you, Wade. We got a lot of replies from that tweet. A lot of people reached out, and a lot of people said they'd be interested, and obviously I know everyone down who shows interest, because it's always nice to know who would like to come on the podcast, and I always like to kind of be smart about when I invite people on. You'll see, hopefully, I mean, everyone is booked in, so unless anyone reschedules, AJ, you've seen the schedule. May is a very, very smart month of podcast guests, and you'll see it. The listeners will see that when it comes. But with you, Wade, I wanted you on, but I couldn't think of a smart way to bring you on until you reached out. And well, no, I mean, just more mean like, the perfect time, right? Until you reached out, which was the perfect time. And you are the only person who has replied from that tweet that has come on the podcast. Nobody else has come on yet. So
there you go, everyone. Make sure you do shoot your shots. That's the lesson we've learned today. Thank you for joining us for InsideMC podcast. That's it. That's all we've got time for, folks.
I guess technically Techno Dad and Pixie came on because of that. But then I was also part Debbie, right? Because Debbie did mention to them that we were looking for people to come on, and then they reached out and they came on, which, I mean, they're also people we wanted on. It was just about the right time to bring them on. But it's fine because you're here now, Wade, and you're sitting down in the call.
And can I say, you've had some amazing guests on. Like, the podcast has been outstanding.
Just wait till you see who we've got planned.
My personal favourite is me. I think I'm...
Oh, obviously.
The first edition of Midweek MC where everything changed. That's great.
True, yeah.
I mean, I do say it, though. I do say, like, AJ has helped a lot with the growth of the podcast. I mean, not actively in a sense of, like, editing and stuff like that, but in a sense of, like, behind-the-scenes stuff, letting me kind of waffle away and get excited about things. I've never really had anyone I can kind of just waffle away and get really excited about things with without, like, it coming off as egotistical. But with AJ, all I do is talk about the podcast, and he knows it's not ego, it's just pure excitement. So it's really cool to have. So.
It's brilliant. You've got a great duo.
Exactly. Midweek has become an interviewing podcast now, which I do still feel kind of bad about, because when I originally invited AJ, it was meant to be just us two talking, but I was like, you know what, actually I don't want to just talk to you anymore. I want to talk to other people.
I talked to AJ enough. It's too much now. Yeah.
Enough about us. This isn't our podcast. I just wanted to clear the air because, Wade, fun fact, this podcast is the 101st edition.
Oh my word, really?
Yes. And
I'm 101? Oh dear.
We're not talking about your age, Wade. We're talking about
I knew the joke was coming.
You set yourself up. You asked me.
I know.
You basically asked me but you basically asked me to make that joke. I wasn't going to make an age joke
every week.
I wasn't even going to make an age joke, but you basically asked me, so you can't get
every week I get this. So.
But this is the second podcast I'm recording. So technically, you're actually the second guest of the Triple Digits podcast. But you're the first release. So I guess take that how you are. So
fantastic. And I'm in the new 100 with the next 100, the future of the podcast, so to speak.
You should feel honored.
I'm all for making milestones.
Well, welcome in. I hope you're doing well. We always like to give the introduction. Now that we can actually start talking about you, now that we've kind of got to waffle about myself, there's so much. I'm so interested. I just realized, who are you? What do you do? If you have a fun fact, maybe.
Okay, so we'll go. Hi, I'm WadeBox. I am a TV guy by day, so I'm an edit assistant, digital producer by day. By night, I'm a content creator. Sometimes it's always the asterisk of sometimes in there, and I dabble in all sorts. I'm actually going to be rebooting my content soon, but you've probably seen me around a lot in Minecraft related things ever since I was in MCC Rising 2. And fun fact, I am addicted to celery, which is not really a crazy fun fact. Most people know that fun fact.
So you were in MCC Rising 2? What? I didn't know that.
No, really? Oh my word! Yes, I was in it. Not just in it, we somehow won it, which is crazy.
How did I miss this?
I want to play some trivia.
Yes.
If we can. So, what color would you say celery is?
Oh my god!
Celery is. You're going down the route of celery is lime green.
Wait, no, but what color is it? Because celery isn't lime; it's green, right?
It's green.
What other shades of green are there?
Oh right, okay, lime.
Oh, what animal spits at people?
A llama.
Oh my! Wait, if you put those two words together, what do you get?
Hot dog.
Close enough. Yeah. What color starts with H? Oh god, is there a color that starts with H?
No.
Color.
This is how you derail a podcast, everyone.
Where are you going?
The heat wave hot dogs was your team.
I feel like we were so on task before we started recording, and then I've completely derailed it in seconds.
Well, I don't think you derailed it. I mean, I think me and AJX, we're just in a bit of a goofy mood. WadeBox, the three of us.
We're a goofy trio.
A silly goofy trio. But AJX, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I feel like I had to go there. My bad.
I was going to say, I have a question, and this is something that actually Orbitzz wasn't aware of. What exactly is a Telly digital producer?
You're really calling me out. You're really calling me out.
You did ask me before the podcast what that would be.
I didn't know what it means. I don't know what it means.
Do you need to know what Telly means first?
Well, no, Telly is just another word of saying television.
Yes, indeed it is.
It's like
for television.
It's like I thought it was like. Wait, did you say it was slang?
Yeah, it's technically slang.
Oh yeah, AragonTelly. Yeah, yeah, that's how I know what Telly means. Definitely.
I helped him with his name change as well.
Oh my god!
Obviously, you've had Aragon, and I caught that, and I need to before I talk about myself, because I heard Aragon's podcast, and very first thing he starts talking about with me, and I thought, oh, you sweetheart. Now I need to.
What did he say about you? I forget.
I don't. It was something layered with probably something vitriolic, actually. But
well, we asked your question. We asked your question. So
I think it was origins. He was talking about the origins of nations. Which we'll come back. Actually, can we come back to that, because I do want to talk about.
Make your mind up, bro. Do you want to talk about Aragon now? Or do you want to talk about Aragon later?
I just want to talk about Aragon all the time. Like,
he's just so lovely.
No, okay. So a digital producer. So a digital producer is someone who basically is involved in a lot of the social media management of a show, so to speak. I say digital producer. I've done it a handful of times for about two, 3 shows. Most of my background was originally producing, research, and in the last year, I kind of did a complete flip and went into editing. But digital producing, yeah, it's the person who clips up the funny moments from a show and puts it out online. They're the type of people who try and farm for engagements on social media, who try to basically the person who you spoke to from Opera is, you could say, the digital producer for that. If they were in Tellyland.
See, I guess I am the digital producer because I'm the head of social media. Well, I'm head of marketing.
You're a media manager. A social media manager is
yeah, I used to be. Yes.
Digital producer is just the nice.
What would you call me? What can I put in my Twitter bio then, because I do all like the tweets and stuff.
Host and presenter.
Local idiot.
Host and presenter.
Cheers, AJ. I appreciate that.
CEO of
And the owner.
the owner. Yeah. The
I
owner
just go
of
by the podcast
InsideMC.
guy. I feel like the podcast guy is so funny.
Just an all-round blocky guy.
I used to go by MCC guy, so it makes sense.
You made MCC content?
Yeah.
Oh, were you in MCC Rising then?
Oh.
That hurts. That hurts.
I applied to both and I didn't get in either, so I can't really talk.
Uno reverse.
Do you know what? 'Cause I know we're obviously going to talk about Rising, but I am still ever so slightly salty to this day that I gave the video to Nominal Gravy, my good friend, and also co-team member of Llamas, and I gave the video to him to upload on his channel after I obviously edited it, and obviously now it's going to do numbers, and I'm a little salty about that. He likes to hold that over me sometimes, so
it's literally it is part of history now, and it's forever on his channel, and you gotta live with that now.
I mean, okay, right. But once again, we will talk about it a little bit more, but I do just want to add to this. Right, they may have uploaded the video to their channel, and that's completely fine. But are they the reason you made Dodgeball? I don't think so, WadeBox. I think there's a certain somebody who came in clutch in the final round, and is the reason you guys won that tournament. So
I love you say that, and other people have said like, "Oh my god, Wade came in clutch by filling in the board," and a lot of people don't realize that Nominal had the kill in hand. He was going to say, obviously there was the risk of if he got caught out, then we wouldn't have got it because the points were so close. And as much as we try to say we weren't aware of the points, we kind of knew going into it.
Yeah,
and no, we were sweating buckets when I put that in. Just the realization of we didn't get a kill point. Oh no, if we lose by a kill point, I am never living this down. Like we just knew that if we had fallen because of that and it was my fault, I would have quit content creation. That would have been the end.
Oh come on, you're going to quit content creation over a Minecraft tournament?
I would have quit everything. I would have thrown my computer into the streets. Like, yeah,
that's fair, I guess.
There's a universe where it happened. If multiple universes are a thing.
Funny weird fact about myself, because I
like
every now and again I like celery. every now and again, if I like stumble and almost fall, do something where I almost fail, I will take a brief moment and go, "Oh, sorry, other Wade," because my brain is just going, there is some universe out there where Wade fell. There is some universe where he screwed up, and I'm so sorry. I'm the one who won.
That's good, actually. Yeah,
I would never thought about that.
Sorry, other self who never got to meet AJ. There you go.
And then every now and again, when you are the person that falls over, you just know that you just have to blame the other you in a different universe.
For succeeding.
Never your fault. Never your fault.
Exactly. What was you gonna say there, AJ?
I hate the other universe. Well, I was gonna keep on the MCC Island. Well, not MCC Island. MCC train.
MCC
obviously,
train.
we are recording this when the Island update came out. That's probably why I
watching
slipped
through
up there.
play Rocket Sleep Rush right now, so I have that visual thing while I record. So
I was gonna ask. So, how does your team come together? Right. I think.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Where does it all begin, and how did you, as a four, come together to become the MCC champions you eventually became?
So the origin of that does come down to Nominal. Nominal sent us a message, all of us a message saying, "Yo, should we? I want you in a team. Let's come together." And we're all close friends. It's not like we were random strangers.
Yeah.
We used to own Minecraft servers together. We regularly got together for recordings and stuff, and we'd hang out all the time. So it wasn't like we had never hung out. And I believe Rice in Real Time was going to be a partner of Nomad, was going to be in it, but unfortunately they were busy. I don't know if I was the fill-in.
I believe.
Yeah, I think he was in Mexico. I can't remember if I was the fill-in or Chaos. One of us was the fill-in. It might have been me. Nominal likes to say though that he wanted me in because he knew that I would be the reason they get in. And bearing in mind, at this point, I had just come back from a streaming hiatus because I was in the process of moving jobs. So it was the time where I had left my job as a kind of researcher and assistant producer for a daytime television show, something I've been doing for years and years, and switched over to go into editing and post-production.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I need to take a step back from content creation. I need to focus on the real-time job. I've got a hell of a lot of research and a hell of a lot of technical technical stuff I need to get under my belt so I'm good enough for this job. So I need to spend all my time doing that. So I took a break. So I just come back, just started getting the feeling of streaming going again. And so I think I remember like messaging him going, are you sure you want me in? I'm not a good content. Like I do look up to Nom. Like Nom, you're an amazing creator. You can build a community. You can hold a community. Chaos is the same. Nomad's the same. They're all just great creative people. And I used to look at myself going, I'm that weird old guy. Are you sure you want me in? And like, yeah, no, we want you. We really, really want you. And so yeah, we got together. They kept convincing me, no, you're fine, you'll be fine. We did the recording for the application, which bearing in mind, actually, we did so many different recordings of that application, so many different ideas, and it was us messing around. I think we were flying through FableNet when it was at the time called Boxcraft, flying through trying to figure something out. And it was also a time when the developer wasn't available, Don wasn't available, so we couldn't get admin, and I had just lost my admin because I have my admin taken away when I do streams on it, and I couldn't sort things out, and we were just messing around, and we went, oh, this is really funny. Why don't we just stop trying to come up with some sort of overly scripted thing? Let's just get together and record something. We'll just press record and go. And we bought a server, and I still think I still pay for this £1 server that I don't know how to cancel. And it's just it was a cheap as chip server. We just got in and we went, right, we're in survival, build me a stage and go to it. And we said we'll come back in 30-40 minutes and we'll just record ourselves going off to do. I went, knowing us, you're gonna go you're all crazy, you're gonna fall off track. Nom's gonna go try and beat the Ender Dragon. So something's gonna happen where no one's gonna actually do the thing we've come together for, and that's gonna be content. And lo and behold, genuinely, someone goes and sets everything on fire. Nom disappears to try and beat the Ender Dragon. Nomad, instead of building a stage, built a cameraman instead. And all of that came as we then recorded our whole speech and everything. But that became little snippets. We generally recorded for an hour and a half of us not doing the application. And one day I want to kind of clip that together because it's so funny. And yeah, we threw it together, put it in. We didn't think we were going to get in. We thought we're nobodies. No one's going to be interested in us. And then we jumped to the call with Nominal because he goes, I've got an email.
Oh.
What? Oh. We go, check your emails. And we open up our phones and there's the email and we're freaking out. And at the same time, thinking that we're being trolled, thinking this is a scam. This is not real. There's no way it's going to happen. And so I think we're about 30-40 minutes. I'm in the kitchen cooking at the same time as well on my phone.
So the application wasn't the only thing you cooked. Sorry, carry on.
No, so I get my phone. I'm like, do you know what? I will risk it. I will push the button and go in. And I push the button, join this private server, and I see I think Avondale, Noctis, and a few others. I'm like, they're the real people. This is real. This is screaming happens, freak out happens. We all rush into the server. I think we're the first people to join the server as well. Yeah. And yeah, we just freak out. And then eventually Avondale, who does the kind of testing with us to make sure that we connect to the servers and everything fine. I have the courage to go, why were we picked? And he turns around and goes, well, I know that we went through multiple processes, but I'll say for me, I just liked how they were ripping into you. And so, yeah, I'm part of the reason we got through because he liked 3 people laughing at my bald head. So
I've been right this entire time. Wait, this entire time I've been waiting to say, so you had the bald buff. Oh, you did?
I had the bald buff. I 100% had the bald buff.
No way.
I was going to say, I think the biggest thing for me was your application was unique amongst the rest. A lot of them were very highly edited, used, I forget what the mod's called, where it's
replay mod?
Replay mod, yes, and such, and just very much like a story based, whereas as you say, it was basically you four causing chaos, and I think that it was pretty unique in that, and it was good to, obviously I was extremely happy for all of you. So yes, and then you get into it, and let me just say, I think you four definitely took the opportunity of just being on the practice server and such so hugely well. All that you did in terms of the streams you made, the content you made around that time got people hyped for your team. So
we became different people. Yeah.
Yeah, how did it get? How was that a whole experience? Because
it was insane, and I miss it so much. And it's so hard to replicate that because there was such an excitement around it, but also weirdly at the same time there wasn't. There was this kind of, I don't know who any of these people are, and I think that was the issue the first Rising had. They had a lot of recognizable faces, even though they were smaller in the grand scheme creators, and therefore a lot of other, I could say probably some salty creators, and some people who I say sometimes you have people who are creators, not just in terms of content creation, in terms of the whole industry that I'm involved in, who for them it's less of like trying to uplift everyone, it's about stepping down and stepping on people instead. So you had a lot of people who were probably looking at it going, there's too many big people, there's not enough small people, that sort of thing. So I think they tried to change that this time. They had a genuine varying group of people in and I think we were one of the smallest, if not the smallest.
No, I wouldn't say so
in terms of viewership. No, I'd say we were definitely probably one of the small.
I think
one of the
were,
smallest.
Yeah, one of, but not like the smallest. Yeah.
I also, and I'm gonna say this straight. I also did not have much hope in you guys winning.
no, because there was definitely better players than us.
Didn't it take you like 2 or 3 hours to do like one parkour course?
Shush. I can't do parkour. We went into that whole event with one thing in mind: we are not doing parkour warrior,
and you didn't.
And we didn't. It was for me. The thing that took over was seeing the Reddit posts and the comments of people going, "Who do we pick? Who do I view? Can someone tell me who's the best so I know who to watch?" And that was the responses I saw online. And as I'm there, and I think a lot of people didn't realize is that not only was this an opportunity for us to showcase ourselves to the wider public, this was an amazing networking event. I myself and all of the other people in Rising became really good friends. It wasn't like even going into it, it wasn't competitive. We weren't sitting there thinking, down on the other teams or anything. We became so close as friends, people who wanted to really kind of work together in the future and collab. And I'm already thinking of things I want to do with a lot of them already. And I think for me, it was seeing these sorts of comments of tell me who to watch, tell me who's good. And I'm sitting there thinking, there's some amazing content creators who are brilliant, like genuinely funny people. And I wanted to lift them up. And so I just went into the Reddit threads and the Discords and said, hey, why not just take some time to look through all of our clips and then see who you vibe with more rather than listening to the next person. I think I became that advocate of try everyone else out. And I think in a weird way it flipped and then everyone was like, oh, let's watch Wade instead. And that was genuinely not the goal here. I just wanted as many eyes on Rising as possible because I truly believed that there was the talent that was there was outstanding, phenomenal. The friendship and the network of people there, they are amazing content creators.
Phenomenal, great.
And
sorry.
No, that was good. But there was so many amazing people there, and I just wanted them to get recognition as well.
Yes, yeah.
And also because I really liked this idea. I love sometimes events get very sweaty.
Yes.
And it's so nice. I know, and bear in mind, I'm an advocate very much more of creator and community events and having them slightly separated, because when you have a creator event and you've got an event of people who are mixed talents, not just like the best of the best. Yes, you can have your master chef, but when you have celebrity master chef or celebrity Great British Bake Off, it's funny watching these people who aren't good fumble and mess up, and it's something special, and I really like that. And so I just wanted just to get as many eyes as possible. I just went on that spree, and it just went wild, and it became, I think, the best experience I've had I wouldn't say my life in content creation. It was so phenomenally supportive. I think sometimes we talk about social media and content creation and we look at the darker side of it. We look at the trolls, we look at the negatives, we look at the people who just attack. But that was so loving, so warming. There was a network of people who I've never met before who were all coming together to feedback and advice and just hanging out with us in streams and laughing with us, flipping us. It was such a joy, such an absolute joy. And that to me is what content creation community and the Minecraft community should be. I think that to me was the highlight wasn't us. It wasn't MCC. The highlight was the community. That was such an amazing high point of the community. And I'd love to see that again.
Yeah, I personally, as someone that made MCC content, I do think that is one of the best events for the community. And I think it's still felt today how good that event was, especially because I know a lot of people were slightly more bored of MCC around that point as well. And I think that it was a huge event for MCC. And just as you say, for the community as a whole, I think, and it definitely isn't just because the people I was supporting won.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
So yes,
this is sorry not to cut you off there. This is gonna actually, you know what, it might make sense. It's gonna be in a weird way. I am so grateful for MCC Rising 2, which is weird, right? Because I wasn't in it, so why should I, not really why should I, but why would I be grateful? Because I didn't play, so why would I be grateful for a tournament I wasn't in? But I'm going through the roster now and looking at it. So just in regards to who I've been introduced to since, and some of them directly from MCC Rising 2, some of them after. Am I good to say other names on your podcast, Wade?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
I have a video in the works, and it has Milkberry and Pyrocypher in it, and I've been introduced it to Sin.
Pyro is lovely. I love Pyro so much. This is the whole reason I want to go to TwitchCon, is so I can meet them. Genuinely.
Not even to meet me and AJ. Wow. Okay then.
I want to meet everyone. That's the goal.
Arrington has become one of my closest mates now. Binish is great. I've been introduced to the entirety of the Llamas, of course. I mean, I've had you on a podcast. I'm always joking and talking to Chaos. They're even in Mayhem. Phenomenal Nomad are great. Force of It I didn't even know was in Rising, but since I've been introduced to them, they're in a video that I'm working on. Jen is a really close friend from Bedrock days. I love Jen. Lagundo I always knew about because of the first MCC Rising, but then only really got talking to them after MCCR2. Apo, Akko, I knew who they were, but I've been able to get them on the podcast since MCCR2. I'm so grateful for it because I kind of linking back to something you said earlier. The first MCC Rising was great, and I'm not saying I agree with this. I actually disagree with this. I'll say a lot of people are it was mainly just already close friends to people in MCC, and then just people that no one really knew about. Which once again, I don't really fully agree with, but I kind of understand the point where people are trying to make. It's just not the right point. But as opposed to MCCR2, it was just this big community, and I mean it's so connected since MCCR2. I feel I obviously the people in MCCR1, a lot of them are in MCC and a lot of them are still in the community, and that's completely fine. I feel MCCR2 has become more a friendship community than it is a creator community, if that makes any sense.
Oh, it absolutely, because there's looking back, there's so many amazing people from Cena and Lagundo who I just loved hanging out with and talking to during the whole thing. We hung out with Pyro quite a few times. A lot of people from Purple, like Lynn and Christina, but there's so many people we could talk about, from Gracie to All C's and Nominal's kind of rivalry and getting to meet that Spelder as well, someone who I absolutely love now. But the coolest thing was actually hanging out with the Green Tea, with Wendy and Caramello, because it broke language barriers. I still follow them on TikTok, and I have no idea what they're saying because I obviously don't speak their language. But getting to hang out with them,
Roman's a big fan of that team.
They are so lovely. They are so wonderful and so creative. And I think that my favorite thing was, I think it was off stream. It might have actually ended up being on stream, but we hung out with a lot of them on the Green Team and was teaching them how to sprint, essentially, because we found out they were still using double tap W to run. And so we were kind of doing parkour tag and showing them this and seeing them just this blossoming of a person who was probably stumbling and not able to do even the basics of parkour, which I still struggle with, let's be honest. But they were just suddenly they were jumping and doing everything. It was wow, this is so cool. That to me was golden moment.
That's cool to say. If you had to pick one, what is your favorite? And it doesn't have to be specifically in the tournament. It can be surrounding it. It can be before. It can be after. What is your favorite memory from MCC Rising 2? Something that as soon as I said that came to mind.
God. Well, obviously I think if I want, it's gonna be one in the tournament and one outside the tournament. If it's the one in the tournament, yes, of course, the the moment we won was incredible. But I think the favorite is still Sands of Time, because Sands of Time didn't exist. It was a game that was everyone did terribly. But the moment of like us thinking, we're gonna lose, we've lost. Oh well, it's fine, it's fine. And then coming out and finding out that we were we were ahead and winning was such a change of just like we went from 0 to 100 basically of like we are absolute losers to absolute winners, and it was such a phenomenal feeling. In terms of outside of that event, of the actual playing of the event, I think for me it was probably doing Ace Race, and we just all became obsessed with the practice parkour and the practice Ace Race course, and getting all of us coming together and sending little bits of information to each other of like, oh, if you try this, if you do the elytra at this bit, if you do this bit, we were like feeding information to each other on how to do better. And it was this moment of realizing like the competition had dropped. This is no longer like hiding strategies and secrets from each other. It was just straight up us just trying to help each other and support each other. And that was such a loving moment. And for me, it was the taking that knowledge that I'd been taught and then going on stream and playing really epic music. I remember like I had like really epic music, cinematic top bars and on.
Oh, the intro was so cool.
I'm managing to get I think it was like sub 130 or sub 140 I was going for. I just managed to get a decent time and I felt so good. That was a great moment.
And then you cooked an actual race race.
And I can't believe I got the shortcut twice and I still don't believe it. I wasn't even trying.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I knew we were of similar level before you went into that event. So I was watching you and going, holy, this is not Wade.
I need to say something because I apologize profusely to every single member of MCC Rising because I know full well that after that event, I came out in 6th place. And following that, went into a tournament and got dead last. And suddenly, these people online who were like talking about Wade is the community hero, Wade is this great person. Suddenly, the conversation is like, wow, all of Rising really bad, weren't they? And I felt so bad. Like, oh my god, that was the worst thing. I think thinking like I've just made everyone.
I think people just did not know that it was the greatest underdog story ever for you to get 6th place.
They also don't know that the event afterwards, we were not prepared. We were not ready.
Exactly.
I was dealing with, I think my server had been hacked and it was just, we were dealing with so much stuff that we were not ready for the event. And so, it was a whole thing.
I mean,
so yeah, I'm sorry, Rising Peep. I'm sorry for making you look bad.
I think the thing there though is you stepped up when it mattered. That's the only time you needed to be that good.
That is true.
When it mattered. After that, you could just other tournaments, don't get me wrong, they're great, but you can play them every month. If you sign up, you have a strong chance of getting into them. So no, you don't need to worry about where you place because you might get into the next one. If you purposely be bad, you're more likely to get in as the bottom frags for balancing. With MCC Rising, you only had one shot. And speaking of one shot, no, I'm joking. But you only had one shot and you stepped up when it mattered, WadeBox, and you cooked. Okay? Sorry.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
He's a big game player. Big game player.
Exactly. Right, if you were on a football team, right, you'd only play well in Champions League matches.
The final.
Origi. You're the Origi of Minecraft tournament. If you know, I don't know if you
plays for England, but plays for England, but doesn't play for the actual team.
He doesn't play for England. No, Origi's just really good in Champions League games. He's kind of useless in the league. He only steps up when it matters.
He's a terrible player in league games, and I should know as a Forest fan. Anyway, enough about MCC Rising 2. Although I could talk about it all day. I want to talk about Telly and basically where you started. So how did you get into Telly in the first place? How we start that?
Okay, so I originally wanted to be an actor. I was doing stage. I was doing stage performances at school, and that was my kind of thought process. And then I was doing like a lot of Shakespeare stuff as well. And it was a drama teacher who turned around to me and basically said, "You're a very good dramaturg." And that means essentially I was someone who's very good at creating the shows and like scripting or leading the actual actors and everything. So I was always thinking of that route, and that was the goal. I was thinking, I want to be a director. I want to direct people. Yes, I like being in control. That was the thought. Long story short, drama teacher teacher fell pregnant and had to leave, and I was redoing a year to switch some other subjects. Because they were leaving, drama was no longer available.
Oh.
And so I was like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? And then the head of that, it was sixth form at the time, the head turned around and was like, wait, you run media courses in the background, don't you? Like after school stuff. And I was like, yeah, I run the Film Appreciation Society and I make YouTube videos and things like that. Yeah, do you want to do media studies instead? Media studies? And that was it. I switched and instantly fell in love with television. And originally I was thinking of film. I actually went to university and my goal was originally to get into film, what's called single camera. But I did multi-camera as well. I did do television as well. I was kind of interested in all factors. And then left university, and I was out of the industry for years trying to break in. I was trying to break in as a runner in film for so long, and it was like 2 years sending off emails, sending off applications, not getting any response back. And I was doing things like boot camps and training and all these different like courses to try and elevate myself above everyone else. And then I went to another boot camp that was being run in London. It was like a 6-day working boot camp. I had nowhere to stay, so I got a hostel, basically stayed in a hostel at the time. I didn't live in London at the time, and managed to get into this boot camp. And it was all, and I was going into these boot camps not thinking of getting a job, but I was just trying to be like, oh, maybe my CVs are wrong. Can I learn that better? What are the tricks of the trade? They took us to what was called a round table event, which was a bunch of different people working in the industry coming to this like group table session where everyone kind of rotated between tables. Basically, it gave you the opportunity to have like a small group of people talking to someone in the industry, and you'd have someone who was a talent manager, and someone who was a director, and someone who was a producer, and all these different people, and you just kept rotating the tables. And I turned around to a talent manager and just went, hey, can I interview you after this? Yeah. She's like, oh yeah, sure. So I wait till everyone's done, and I pull them aside and I was like, yeah, can I record you and interview you? I'm part of this boot camp thing I'm doing. Asks us to but it was like that. It was like this boot camp, but they were asking us to kind of make our own little films and stuff at the same time to expand our own creative knowledge. And so I took the audio thing. I was like, let me interview you. So yeah, I got my microphone and I went up to her. I was like, yeah, can I interview you? And she's like, yeah. And I just asked her about her job, asked her about how she got into the industry, all this sort of thing. I just chatted away, and she turned around. She's like, oh yeah, you seem really. Are you working at all? I was like, no, I'm trying to break into the industry. Oh, I really like the cut of your jib. Do you have a CV? Yes, I do. Great. Here's have you got a card or anything? I was like, no. Here's a pen. Let me write it. I wrote down her details on my hand, and she's like, send me your CV. I know a place that's looking for some runners and stuff. I'll send your CV along. I was like, great, thanks. Ran over to the people running the boot camp and went, I've got an opportunity. Possibly, I need to use your offices so I can make a CV, because I didn't have a CV.
Yes.
And so stayed over on there trying to make, because I did have a CV at home, but it was like a terrible, overly graphically designed one. So just butchered together a Word CV. The people who were there were like over my shoulder helping me make this. And then we sent it off that night. And I went from 2 years of trying to break into the industry and not getting any response back to go into this talk, suddenly getting the call back afterwards going, yeah, great. Are you free this Friday for an interview? Yeah, sure. Fantastic. Went to the interview and basically got told, yeah, you can start work next week. I didn't have anywhere to stay. I wasn't living anywhere at the time. I said, great. You are London based, aren't you? I can be. So I was like staying at my brother's for the first part, staying in hostels. There was one night where I couldn't stay at my brother's, one night I couldn't get a hostel. So I literally stayed up all night and then went back into work really, really early and used the presenter's shower so I could get clean and use their washing machine to wash my clothes. I didn't, and that was just till I was able to then finally get my own place or get a space. And yeah, and then I was a runner at a place called Princess Productions. It's now closed. It was this weird production place that was on the 3rd floor of a shopping center. So we'd regularly have people who were coming upstairs going, is this the cinema? And then realizing, is this oh, is that Sting? No, we'd have like a big celebrity and just random people just coming up the escalator. So half my job was to turn them around and act like weird bodyguards. And yeah, and I got that job, got into it, and was basically told when I first got to the job and I was being shown around everywhere, met a producer who basically turned around and went, oh, it's a weird time to be joining us. I was thinking, oh, what do you mean? Oh, the company's closing by the end of the year. Oh, what? So I got my break, but it came with a timer of
deficit.
You've got a job, but you're going to lose the job in I think it was like 6 months. So my brain went, I need to fast track my career in 6 months. And in that space, I think I say 6, probably 8 months. And I went from runner to, so I was office runner to studio runner to camera assistant and audience researcher, and also being a mic holder and being on TV a few times as well, all in that 8-month period. 6 to 8 month period, and basically fast track myself. So when the company closed, I then got a call back a month later from a different company going, "Hey, told you're very good, and we need you. We really need you." Yeah, sure, I'm there. And then that was it. It just became gig after gig.
So what you're saying is, to be successful, all you have to do is interview people.
Pretty much. I mean, it genuinely, there's the classic phrase of "it's not what you know, it's who you know." A lot of people take that phrase and think of it as, oh god, it's
friends in high places.
Yeah, it's just friends in high places, which is true. I'm not gonna lie, there is a lot of nepotism in the industry. None of us like it, but that's not saying that you can't get off your bums, go to these sorts of events and talk to people and befriend people. Like, get out there. Don't just do what I did for like 2 years and sit down and write emails out to people. Meet people, talk to them, and learn about them. There's so much that you get taught in university, so many things that you read online that are just not true to the real life situation of actually working in the biz. So just get out and go to these events, go to like RTS, go to Screen Skills, go to every single thing that's possible, and just talk to as many people as possible.
I have this book right in front of me, funny enough, and so where I work, it's very common knowledge now. I say it always on a podcast, I'm a barista. Where I work, they sometimes host like events and stuff in the nighttime. It's like part thing. I do not do anything with the events. So glad I don't. Anyways, so last Friday, I came into the coffee shop in the morning, and there was this book, and I didn't really look at it properly. I had a little glance here, and it looked like it was in a different language. Didn't really pay much attention to it because I have a Spanish co-worker. So the shift ends anyways, and I go to her, "Oh, don't forget your book," and she's like, "That's not my book." I'm like, "Oh." She's like, "Yeah, I don't even know what that is." I said, "Oh, okay then." It's only like a small little like notes book kind of thing. Not someone writing their notes. It's like one of those things that you just pick up from the event kind of thing. So anyways, I was like, I didn't take any look at it, just left on the side. I come back in Monday, and it's still there, untouched all weekend, Friday night, Monday. Hasn't moved at all, right? So I'm like, okay, so I'm going to read through it. So it's a book, and it's double-sided. One side about high-performing teams, or like how to keep high-performing teams, and the other side on effective collaborations. And it's so weird, because I said it to AJ, because I was like spending lunchtime just reading through it, so it's quiet on a Monday. I spent the entire lunchtime reading through the book. Well, I say entire, it took me like 30 minutes. And everything in here, I'm already doing. And I said to AJ, it's so weird, right? Like, how to keep an effective team. Like, I have a pretty good team I've built around me, and most of them are volunteer. Like, they're happily to do it volunteers. I'm doing a good job in that sense. The effective collaborations, how to get people to work with you. It's in a business sense, this. It's not like in an interview sense. But I said to AJ, I was like, I already do most of this, and I didn't even need to read a book for it. So like, it's nice reading a book that kind of confirms what I'm doing is right. The reason I'm saying this, it links back to the whole, like, you know, most of the stuff that you see online isn't even true, because you're right. Like, saying isn't what you know, it's who you know. I don't like the saying. I like to say it's both, right? Because it's a mix. It's like, you know, you can know people and you can do stuff. Like, if I had this podcast and it wasn't really that good, yeah, I could get a few people on who know about me because they know who I am. That's cool. But it's what I know and what I do and what AJ knows and what AJ does. They get people who, like, you know, I guess in quotation marks, the more established creators want to come on the podcast, you know. But so it's not. Yeah, but you're still.
I would say, yeah, but you are. That is your knowledge base. Absolutely, you are the person who's still going out there and reaching out to people and shooting your shot. Essentially, is the phrase. You're the one going out there. It's not so much people coming you.
No, but I'm using what I know to do do that is what I'm trying to get at there.
Yeah, of course. So,
yeah. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm a Nepo baby.
you were born into it, AJ, weren't you? So.
And here we have the full range of man.
It's cool to like hear that. So this is going to sound like such a weird question. When you say runner, you don't like what? Sorry, once again, I just want to make sure that I like, just in case there's a different term in different things. When you said you were a runner, what exactly were you doing as a runner?
runner. So there's two different types of runners. You have a studio runner and a office runner. And
so I'm thinking the office runner, which is where you go and grab coffees and stuff.
Yeah, office runner was grabbing coffees and teas, refilling printers, cleaning tables, making sure that the people had the right water, making sure that the presenter had clean towel. Otherwise, he comes out to you and screams at you at the reception. Yes, that happens. All the little things like that. Whereas the studio runner is more, it's like the office runner is just to the company. The studio runner is to the show. So running to get props, running to print off scripts and give them out and hand them out. They might be helping out with sending battery packs to cameramen. It's all sorts of things that are more situated actually in the studio, in the actual running of things. You will have a headset on, you will hear the directors and producers talking, and you're directly involved, and they'll be telling you what to do, essentially.
Oh, that's actually pretty interesting. One thing that I vowed to never do, because I've worked in I kind of had a bit of an interesting year last year, jumping between jobs, and one of them was like working as for a month working as a barista in an office job, and in it we had like these it was like I think it was a stockbroker firm, like half stockbroker, half something else, but I worked on the stockbroker side, and like we'd have these like young guys who were like trying to get into the industry coming down and buying about like 6 or 7 coffees, to the point where they came down so much I remembered their 7 coffee order that they were getting for their bosses, because they got the same thing every single day. So as soon as they started walking towards me, I'd had the coffee made by the time they got to, because I never do like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I know what you're getting, like it's obvious. And I vowed, and I said to my mum, and it might hold me back at one point, who knows, I will never be a runner. I just
here's the thing.
Yeah.
The best way of befriending people is being a runner and knowing how to make a good coffee and a good cup of tea. I hate coffee. I went to this company and they had a full barista level coffee machine. I don't know how to use it. I looked at every single YouTube video possible to research how to use this machine so I could make the best damn coffee out of anyone there, so that when people asked, they were like, oh, can Wade make it? Can you make me this sort of weird little drink? And I'd make it. Because then I get to go over and chat with them, and then they go, here, what do you think about this? And then you'd get involved, and that was my way of them coming from office runner to studio runner. It's just, and I was very quick. Very well, I was only an office runner for a few months before becoming a camera assistant studio runner. Runner doesn't mean just going to get coffee. You are integral to the production.
Yeah.
One of the runners, or the running position I know from my old job, my old show. Actually, I can say it because I no longer work there. I used to work on Jeremy Vine on Channel 5. The runners there would be not just getting drinks and coffees and stuff for the guests and the presenters. They would also be making sure the scripts are brought down from the producers. They'd be passing information from Jeremy himself and the presenter. They would be helping out with props. They would be either making the physical props. They might actually be on stage and helping direct things hidden. Like if Jeremy was messing around, I remember when I was a runner at a time, and actually I did this, I think, when I was a researcher. Jeremy had to do this whole thing about pretending to do keepy uppies, and I was laying on the floor throwing the football up and down, which actually is a lot harder to do than you think. The amount of times I whacked myself in the face with that football. It's so much fun. It really is. And it's a direct way of getting in. I think a lot of people who want to get into the industry, they kind of think that they don't have to do the runner. If they do the writing knowledge and the research knowledge, and they'll be able to skip that step. It's very hard. A lot of people in the industry have this feeling of you've got to climb the ladder, you've got to do the position beforehand. Even if you know the stuff above, you've got to do your dues, is kind of the mindset. But it is worth it. It is really worth it to know every factor of a production.
I've done running for a studio before, and literally, if you join the business, you have to do running, and then they'll figure out where to put you. That's how it works.
Everyone has a special skill. Everyone will have some sort of unique special skill about them, and running is a great way for productions to realize what your special skill is, so that you can then be exploited for your special skill. But it is the way in. Yeah.
I guess the more thing I was going to get at there was not that
you want to stop making coffees. Yeah.
No, not that. I don't think it's like bad to be a runner. Like you mentioned there, it's very good for like growth, etc. So I'm not shitting on the idea of being a runner. I just mean, and AJ, you know this, I'm very straightforward. So if somebody yelled at me for not getting their towel, I would react in a very not nice way. So I could just, my mentality, I wouldn't be able to like hack. I can hack certain people being rude. I work in customer service, right? And we get so many arrogant customers. I had one customer the other day, right, come in. And so I just really wanted to tell the story to someone, so I'm just going to quickly say it now. I had one customer come up. He went, Coke. So I said, what? And he went, Coke. So I said to him, you want a Coke? He said, yeah. I said, so ask me for a Coke then. And he went, Coke. I went, I'm not giving it to you then. I said, go somewhere else. And he went, I want a Coke. I said, you're forgetting the please. And we stood there until he said please. And then that's what I'm saying. I did that to a customer, and my manager was right next to me. I could have gotten I did get in trouble for doing it actually. So, that's the thing. But I wouldn't be able to have somebody like have a go at me, or be like run around if I made someone's coffee order wrong and they had a go at me. I'd be go make it yourself then. Why can't you just get up off your ass and go get coffee, right? I respect runners, and I'm not chatting shit about the idea of being a runner. I mean, my mentality personally, I just wouldn't be able to hack it.
I was gonna say, I will say most people in the industry are nice. Even the concept of a diva, and I've met my fair share. That's the right word. I've met my fair share. But you'll find normally a lot of celebrities. I'm not going to name them because then that will get me in trouble. But
yes,
the celebs who are more famous, the celebs who are more well known, are much nicer sometimes than the lesser known. In a weird expression, it's kind of this weird. I'd say it's the bell curve of bellends. Say everyone starts out nice, they become a diva, and then they end up nice. Actually, I will. I can give you a story of one of my favorite celebrities I've met, which is Anthony Horowitz, who I absolutely adored. I loved his books. He came on the show. This is when I was a runner, and he was talking about a release of one of his new books, and everyone in the production team knew how much I loved him. Like, he's the reason I got into writing and being interested in television and film in the first place, and like acting and stuff. So I was sitting there like rocking backwards and forwards going, I want to ask him to sign my book. I'm so scared. I need to act professional. And the producers are turning around to me going, just ask him. It's totally fine. Just ask him. Like, no, I'm a runner. I need to be professional. Leaves. And I nod my head to him, and he's very nice. Leaves. And a producer then comes up to me, hands me the new print, and I've still got it. It's a before print book. So it's a demo copy of the book, and goes, run after him and just ask him to sign it, for Christ's sake. Stop wallowing. Just go and do it. So, fine. Because now that I've been commanded, I can blame them if something goes wrong. So I sprinted full pelt out of that building, ran down the stairs to try and beat him from taking an elevator, and ran outside and managed to catch him just before he was getting in a taxi. And he's like, I'm sorry, sir. Can you please sign my book? And he looks at me and just suddenly gets much taller, looking over me, and just goes, I was sorry. Also, I should say, I was going, sorry, can you please sign my book? And he goes, don't you dare ever say sorry when asking a writer to sign a book. We are writers. We love signing books. And he comes over and signs it and shakes my hand and gives me a pat on the back. And that has lived with me forever. I've still got that book, and it means it's an absolute treasure. And I still remember that moment. I think that to me has also been something in my mind of like, just always go for it. Just always shoot your shot. There's no problem in what's the worst that can happen, essentially. Someone shouts at you, oh well. What's the best thing that happened? You get a signed book.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Shall I let you take over here, AJ? Sorry, I feel like I'm waffling too much.
No, it's no problem. I was going to ask, so you've talked about Jeremy Vine, but is there any other programs people would know that you have worked?
I've worked on a lot. I've looked at a lot of documentary type stuff lately. The problem is when I was working in productions, I was working same 2 or 3 shows pretty much daily. It was Jeremy Vine, the Andrew Neil Show, and every now and again I do Sunday Brunch.
Yes.
Then recently I've done a lot of documentaries. Any kind of you'll see my name. My name's not hidden. You'll find it on IMDb. See my credit list. But actually, I would say Sunday Brunch is my favorite show I've ever worked on because the food is genuinely made. So we would get there at 4-5 o'clock in the morning and rehearse the entire cooking show, and that means making everything as well twice or thrice. And yes, there was kind of some cooks who were helping behind the scenes, but it was genuinely like when they say here's what I cooked earlier, or here's what I did earlier, they genuinely did. There are 2 cooks who help and help out behind the scenes and everything, but genuinely there's stuff that is made earlier during our pre-tests, and it's so funny because it was the best thing because it meant also a lot of the camera operators would like hang back or something, and it let me as a camera assistant actually train on the cameras and train and practice, which is so much fun. And there's something so joyous because everyone's having a laugh. No one's taking it seriously. I remember like hearing the director talk to Simon and being like, "Oh, what are you gonna put on that? Oh, I'm gonna put some bacon on it. Oh, you dirty bastard!" It's all these sort of like things that would never go to air. I kind of used to like call it.
Well,
like,
you just said it, so now it's going to air.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, never actually on air. It's like everyone's having a bit of a
so we're not
laugh.
actually on air, is what you're saying?
Technically, we're recorded, so you know. But yeah, technically. And it was so much fun. And I ate so much. I think my best thing is that I got to eat Jamie Oliver's pasta, actually made by him, which was so cool. That show will always have like a soft spot in my heart, because getting to eat good food and having an absolute laugh, getting to actually be on the cameras, and that was so much fun. That's a good show.
Do you have any other ones that you wanted to talk about?
Because
I have a question.
The rest are rubbish.
I do have a question. I'm just curious if you had anything else to talk about.
Okay. I would say one of the I assistant edited recently for the Titanic special. It was the special about the Titan sub last year, and this was we were on air, and this was something which we hadn't done something like this where all different production teams had come together to make this, and I was basically in charge of all the essentially the media management of getting the documentary elements through to the studio, and crossing different barriers from production teams to the live teams, because basically edited stuff kind of lives in its own area and the live stuff lives in its own area, and they never kind of meet in between, and my job was to make them meet. And that was so much fun, because that was for me such a good moment, because it was kind of like bringing all my skills from productions and all my skills from editing together, and I was getting to kind of show off the best of who I was. That's one of the coolest things I've worked on recently. There's so many things I've worked on though, so is there a specific, have you got a specific thing you want to ask me, like a specific show?
I do, yes, actually.
Okay.
So back in 2019, before the pandemic,
yes,
you played Fortnite on Channel 5 with Jeremy. God, how do you pronounce it? Vine? Oh no, how did you pronounce
Jeremy
it?
Vine, yes.
Jeremy Vine. You played Fortnite on Channel 5 with Jeremy Vine. Why? Why?
Why? Because Fortnite was taking over, and they wanted.
This is 2019.
Well, it was a lot of news stories. No, it was a lot of news stories we're picking up about Fortnite.
Okay.
Well, yeah, 2019 Fortnite was starting to get bigger. That's when it kind of started like it's.
Was it? I thought. Okay, fair enough.
It was 2018, 2019. I thought. But obviously during COVID,
you should also add starting to get big in mainstream media, gaming and tech. Don't normally seep into mainstream media, so which is something I always fight. And I remember them just like talking about it, and I went, "Well, I've got a PlayStation, I can make it work." And I bear in mind, I should add, I used to pitch things for the show all the time, and I would always try to pitch things that were not.
Let's play Fortnite.
Tech. Well, more because I used to say like parents should know more about what their kids are getting up to, what they're playing. And I'd always get turned around and go, no one cares about that. And I just shot and went, I could just book up my PlayStation and me and Jeremy play it. I went, yeah, that's a great idea. Wait, what? And the next thing I know, I'm having to somehow make a new account on my PlayStation and cart it across to London, into central London, and hook it up and try to get past all the security measures to actually be able to play it live. A new season had dropped, and it was a time when bots were in the game as well, and so it was a whole thing. I had to time everything perfect so to get into the game and land and make sure that I was alive, so that when Jeremy finished his introduction and came round and walked around to me, he could take the controller and play, and he was set up to play. That was not like a setup kind of, it's a fake game or a fake private game. That was a live game. We timed it perfectly to get in, and at the very end we went to break and I got the victory royale, and I am so, it's like the best thing Jimmy has ever happened, and it wasn't on telly, it got missed.
Oh no.
I think my favorite thing is just seeing Jeremy's reaction to getting a kill, and he doesn't know how to use the controller. That was so much fun. Actually, I've had working with Jeremy Vine was brilliant. There's so many funny things I've done. I think to name off a few, because I've got to name off a few instances, which I always name off. One was during the election. There was an election in the UK, and it was around Christmas time. So someone had the fantastic idea of, let's go film a psychic turkey predicting who's going to be the next prime minister.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, fine, all right. And they went, wait, you've got got some GoPros, haven't you? Yeah. Go on, you can do it then. Oh yeah, sure. You got camera assisting experience.
Wait, so are you stuffing the GoPro into a turkey?
No. We went to a farm and I had to get into this turkey pen.
Oh, like, sorry, I thought you were talking about like a food turkey. Sorry, not
no, a live, real life.
Sorry, I'm glad you weren't stuffing a GoPro.
The live turkey where turkey the food comes from.
So where the food comes from.
I thought you were talking about like a food turkey. That's why I was wondering why you were stuffing a GoPro into a food turkey.
No.
A bit weird.
This live turkey. So, and we got told by the farm they haven't eaten yet. So when the moment we put the food down, they're going to come straight over. Great. We have a cameraman with me, who's a friend of mine, and we've set it up, set all the GoPros up. Jeremy has decided that he wants to ask 14 questions for these turkeys rather than one. So I'm like, and the thing is, there are so many things that you have to do right when it comes to elections. You cannot game it. You cannot cheat it. So I've got to essentially make sure there's equal amounts of food in the bowls. It was like a genuine scientific experiment. Make sure there's the right food in the bowls. Make sure it's clearly labeled A and B. Press record, and you cannot interrupt. You can't cut it or anything like that, and that you have to treat it so you can't kind of game it and like make the turkey go one way or the other. So proceed to the turkey going in. We put the food in. Step back, thinking, well, hey, here we go. Turkey doesn't move for an hour, and we're sat in this pen for an hour, and the turkey just eventually sits down. I'm like, right, well, can we switch out for a different turkey? We switch it out, and I'm calling the producers, going, look, I'm not getting 12. I'm gonna be lucky if I get one question here. We cut it down to 3, and get the next turkey, and it comes over and it answers one. We're like, we got it. It took like 20 minutes, but we got it. Yay. And I just knew, because I knew I was going to edit it, so I just speed up in the middle. And so, all right, we'll do the next one. Next turkey comes, we get the turkey back, put the next bit of food. We're thinking, oh, here we go. Turkey doesn't move. And we eventually managed to ask 3 questions to these turkeys, and I was in that pen for 3.5 hours. And I smelt, and I had a bad back, and I hated it. And I have forever held that over everyone of like, you made me film psychic turkey that wasn't psychic for 3.5 hours. Oh god, I think that's one of my worst experiences.
I mean, you gotta look on the bright side though, right? Them turkeys like making you go through that makes Christmas dinner even more enjoyable.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
It actually does. I'm sorry, it's sad. I've got one other funny story from Jeremy Vine, and that was I got my friend's cup of tea on national television. This is a story I've told. There's a friend of mine called Irish, and he can't make a cup of tea, and we rip into him as friends. And he shared us this cup of tea that he made. It was this white, like it was like water with a dash of milk and a dash of tea, like barely had, like the hidden brewed. I was so angry as a connoisseur of the tea. I was very angry, and so I proceeded to create an entire topic for the show about what is the perfect cup of tea, just so I could have him roasted on national television of people going, look at this poor cup of tea that Wade was made.
Wait, go on.
And I'm Jamie serious, got his cup of tea on national television just to spite him.
But how do you make tea then? Let's hear your way.
How do I make? Well, I mean, I've got loads of different teas.
No, but what's your best way? What's your best way? No, but
well,
that's English breakfast.
An English breakfast where you do about 2 to 3 minutes of your tea bag in there. If you've got fresh tea rather than the bag teas, then it's even better, because they cause the water to flow around it and everything, and then you strain it and you add your milk. If you're doing green teas, don't brew it at 100 degrees, brew it at 80 degrees. Put a little bit of cold water in first. I can go. You try to play me there, Orbitzz, but I can go on for an entire podcast about
because he's doing this barista thing.
No, I wasn't trying to play you. I was just curious how you made the because basically with English breakfast tea, I put tea bag.
Oh my god! I've just realised. Yeah, you're a barista and I'm a tea fanatic. We genuinely could talk about tea for an entire podcast.
Well, not really, because do you know what I do as a barista?
Don't.
Tea bag, hot water. There you go. I don't do anything else.
Please, if someone asks for a green tea, don't tell me you just put boiling water on the green tea.
I just do tea bag, boiling water, and that's it. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Same with a peppermint tea. Same with Roy Boy. Same with lemon and ginger.
Hello, guys, and welcome to the midweek tea podcast.
What's being said? I'm so angry. I just pulled out my headphones, walking away.
I wish someone had oat milk to Roy Boys earlier. I was in
What?
disbelief. I started laughing. I was like, what are you laughing at? I was like, oh, sorry, I just thought something funny. And wait, green tea, yeah, we have like this hot water tap, so we just do the tea bag, hot water, and there you go.
No, you've got your that's why it's sour. You need to make sure it's 80 degrees. You do a little bit of cold water and like 20% cold water and then hot water.
So my peppermint tea is because that's what I drink. I do like three quarters of the time hot water and then cold water. That's how I drink it.
Yeah, that works. That's fine.
But English breakfast tea, I'll
allow that. Yeah.
English breakfast tea, if I have it at home, which I don't really, but if I do tea bag, hot water, kind of let it sit, and then I do milk after. But I know, like, whenever I make my mom and dad a coffee at home and stuff, because obviously we don't have the steamer and stuff, so I can't make a latte or a cappuccino or whatever. My girlfriend's always in disbelief because I put milk last. No, I put milk first.
Don't you dare! No.
Wait, what do I do at home?
Milk last.
No, at home I put milk first at home.
Why?
Because I don't like making coffees at home. So, and I know they don't like it when I do that. So I do it.
Okay, we have genuinely derailed a conversation about Minecraft.
I literally just tweeted out midweek tea.
Mate, you do know that, like, you do know the reason you've come on midweek MC is because we're trying to branch out, and we knew we weren't going to be talking much about Minecraft.
Yeah, we're going to talk just about tea. Yeah.
What for tea?
Yeah.
we wanted to talk
I will come on.
Tea.
Just before COVID, I had a cupboard of about 40 different types of tea.
You could almost say spilling the tea.
I'm gonna put my retirement letter in.
I do have a question actually, since you mentioned COVID there.
Yes.
Did like the pandemic and the lockdown, did that have, and if it did, how much of an effect on your life at all, being like in the industry you're in?
Yes, it really did, but not in the way a lot of people would expect. So the industry was very heavily hit, but I was broadcast critical, so I was in work every single day. I did not get to experience the working from home feelings and situation that everyone else did, which I always hear people talk about the working from home thing, and they're always moaning about it, going, oh, it was horrible, terrible working from home. Oh, I'm like looking at them going, I had to go in every single day. I thought I was going to die. Because we didn't know what COVID was going to be like then, and it was so crazy. You know that scene in 28 Weeks Later?
Yes.
28 days. 28 days later, I should say, where he's walking through London, it's just dead empty. It was that, and it is creepy. Like Charlie, you live in London, so that was the perfect time. I waited the entire time to do that, and that was the perfect opportunity. Anyway, so Orbitzz, you live in London, so you know the feeling. Like, London's busy all the time.
Indeed it is.
And during COVID, it dead, and it was creepy and weird. And going to like Waterloo Station is a main station I used to go to all the time. It's one of the busiest stations I think in the UK. I don't know if it's more than the UK. It's definitely in the UK, one of the busiest stations. And I was the only person walking through, and it was just so creepy and so weird. So that, for me, the experience was just, it was a weird experience, a very lonely experience, just because I was just stuck inside the entire time.
Sorry to like derail this conversation again. Look at what I just sent in the group chat.
I just saw.
For goodness sake. Oh, okay.
Sorry. I was going to say with the whole London thing. When like COVID hit, I was too young to work. I got my first job in November 2021. So I remember, and this is a story I don't think I've said on the podcast. And it actually kind of makes me sound like a bit of a dickhead now that I realize. But I'm going to say anyways. When COVID was when we're like kind of first like happening and like coming to be, which is a weird way of wording it, but I went into college and basically they'd said like, don't come into college, blah blah blah, and they said, oh, actually, like, you guys need to come in, but we're only going to be in for like 2 hours. I was like, why? And it's like, oh, we'll talk about it. And this was like in April 2020 or something maybe. And so anyways, we went in and we did our little like 2 hour thing. They said, oh, we're going to be working from home, like the colleges have shut down because obviously the pandemic, so we're going to be working from. But I left college that day and I used to walk to the train station, which was 30 minutes. I never used to get the bus, I didn't like getting it. I recorded myself walking down the street on Snapchat, like my feet, with the caption, I don't see why everyone's so scared. We'll be back in college in 2 weeks. I was wrong. I was very wrong. You were wrong. And I didn't leave the house at all other than to walk my dog, which we'd only just really freshly got. And we actually got, we got Shadow in March 2020 and then lockdown happened in April. So I was going to bed at like 4 a.m. in the morning, waking up at 3 p.m. My mum was an essential worker. My dad, my brother, they were all essential workers. And then it was me at home trying to do online classes, struggling, which actually made me drop out of college in the end, and started content creation kind of full send. And it worked out for a while until until everyone started going outside again and realized actually this guy's kind of boring. So yeah, that's my COVID story. So I actually wouldn't really understand. I wouldn't really know how dead London was because I never really saw it because I was kind of one of the people making it dead by not leaving my house. So, but it's interesting. It's interesting to hear. That's why I was really curious. I was waiting to ask that, and it was the perfect time there to know how much it took effect on you because I know obviously TV was still running and everything. So
I was going to head this on to we talked about MCC, we talked about your job in Tellyland, but I know your job in Tellyland has actually I keep calling it Tellyland.
Tellyland is great. I love it. Yeah.
Teletubbies.
I know how much it's sort of affected your content creation over the years. So I sort of wanted to look at that, and I know the amount of effort you put into productions of what you do on YouTube and on Twitch and so on. So sort of when did you decide to start doing this sort of online stuff, bar from obviously your work?
Okay, so the journey of the content creator.
Yes.
So I've always been interested in content creation. It comes down to right up to my name, how I created WadeBox. I literally made my name WadeBox because I literally just went by WadeBav, which was my first name and initials of my last name originally, and I was like, I need to change my name. I need to be something better. I want to make YouTube stuff. And this was when I was starting to look at going. I was at sixth form and I was looking to go to university, and I wanted to make short content, as in like sketches and things like that. Because my favorite content creator at the time was Tom Scar. And I ended up getting to go to Lincoln University. I have too, and Tom is a lovely person. He's so cool. But I looked at Tom Scar and I remember seeing a thing about how Tom Scar made his name, and I was thinking, I need to come up with a name. And it was straight up me going, Wade, I want to be on like a TV box. WadeBox. Yeah, that sounds quick and easy like Tom Scar. That works. And later I tell people that it's a pretentious thing of, well, it's because I'm outside of the box, and reality, it was just me looking at Tom Scar and going, I want a funky name like him that rolls off the tongue. And I went to university. I did sketch comedy with my friends at university. We were called a weird kind of rodeo. We made all these different, very terrible, but I still think kind of funny sketches. Nowhere near as good as Tom Scar stuff. And so I've always been interested in that. And then left university, went back home, trying to break into the industry. So I went back home to live with my parents, and they live in the middle of nowhere in the countryside. I didn't really have the opportunity to get back into making sketch comedy. So I started looking at gaming content and being more interested in gaming. Never dove into it. And it was me. Then we jumped forward a few years, and it was just before, I think it was just before COVID. My brother was starting to get thinking he wanted to do some content creation with some friends, and I think they turned around to me, and I was at that time, I wasn't doing content creation, but I was leading a lot of communities, gaming communities, that sort of thing. And he was like, "Oh, do you want to do some content with me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And made logos and everything for us, and we became Kill Thieves. And the Kill Thieves, we were Call of Duty focused to start with. I think, or Fortnite and Call of Duty. And I would stream a lot through WadeBox because I still kept my name in my account. And as we was doing this stuff, I think I used to wind them up because they wanted to play very seriously. I mean, we used to do like MLG tourneys and things like that. They wanted to play very seriously. I wanted to run around with batons and whack people and bling at a high pitched voice. So we found that our kind of play styles and content styles didn't match, and ultimately I then left them. And it was kind of in that moment where I decided just to randomly do a stream on Untitled Goose Game, and I had a group of random people just join. One of the person who used to do, I kid you not, someone who does speed running and was coming through, was like, "Are you speed running Untitled Goose Game?" Like, "No, I'm just playing and being goofy," and started building a little following there. And I hate to say there was a whole plan in motion. It just snowballed, really. I used to do social deception type games and community level games. I used to do a game called SCP, and I then started touching Minecraft because this is when COVID hit, and I realized I wasn't gonna be able to go home Christmas. And I thought to myself, I guarantee there's loads of people out there who can't go home for Christmas, or they can't do the things they want to do Christmas. So I want to do a lo-fi stream, which is just relaxed, playing some Minecraft, Minecraft, just chatting away, doing silly things, just to be a voice to help. I think that was my thought. I wasn't thinking about content and growth and that sort of thing. And so I just did this ordinary stream where I was building what I called a world tree at the time. It wasn't like hardcore, it wasn't survival. It was just messing around on a private server that I had with friends. And that is where Mr. AragonTelly came into the picture. He joined the stream, messaged me later saying, "Oh, you seem really cool. Can I follow you?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll follow you back." And I saw that he was doing a project that he had called Nations. And I just messaged him saying, "Hey, I used to do acting and role playing stuff. Do you want me to be involved?" I was like, "Yeah, I'd love you to be involved." And our friendship just came to be. And he's the reason I've stuck around with doing a lot more Minecraft.
And you guys are such a cute couple as well.
I love Ara to bits. I love it. We're not for context. Sushi, who's the partner. I'm sorry. I know everyone. me and Ara are not together.
And then you do like no, you are together. You did that love show together.
Oh yeah, no, we were broke.
No.
You did beat me and Debbie, I'm pretty sure. So,
yeah, exactly. So,
yeah, you do realise we said that your relationship's bad if you can't beat us.
Oh,
ouch. I'm sorry. That hurt. That was too close.
You're going to get an angry message from
very soon,
and it won't be
me when I don't cut this out to cause controversy.
No, I genuinely, Ara is amazing, and I think it was just hanging out with Aragon really inspired me. He is such an inspirational content creator, and he kind of switched my mind around doing different things. And I wanted to focus a little bit more on community side of things. And we then made a Minecraft server together. We redid Nations a second time, and we've done various different projects. And I will forever be there because he is absolutely the sweetheart. He is the person who I keep saying I want to lift. I always feel like it's good to lift people. I don't care about myself. This is why I say that I'm a part-time content creator.
You want to lift him like
maybe
a
I don't
swan.
have the. Sorry.
You want to lift him like a swan. Do you know that little dance where you lift them above your head and they do the little?
Well, I just want to help him because he has so much. He's going to be the next. I genuinely at heart believe that because he's so passionate about content creation and about holding his community, and he's so creative, like way more creative than many of the people I've met. So yeah, he is the reason I've stuck around with Minecraft and MCC. I was totally not thinking about doing other things and planning on doing more show type stuff, and then MCC happened, and it's just been this roller coaster that I haven't been able to get off.
It's interesting, right? How things can just change.
Absolutely.
Right away.
Okay.
I was going to say, Aragon was the first person you introduced me to, because you put us on a team together in One Heart.
One Heart, yes.
Confused my ones there.
One Heart is a project that I want to bring back. And I'm trying to bring back because it has such a part in my heart. Because the story of One Heart, for those who don't know, One Heart Heroes it's an event. It's an event in the manner of speaking, but it's everyone racing to beat the Ender Dragon, but they've only got one heart, and we've got all these different mechanics to mean that it's not going to take 8 years. But originally it came about because I was messing around with some friends and messed our hearts up to one heart, and we just found it really goofy. And so we then decided to do a collab event of getting everyone together and go, right, we're going to beat the Minecraft with one heart. We're going to invite 20 odd people to come and play with us. And it wasn't a challenge, it was just all working together. It never did. Everyone started attacking each other. I realized about 4 hours in that I had to keep inventory on because everyone kept realizing that they could burn each other and therefore burning all the items and resetting us. That was a stream that went on for 8 hours. And then I did it a second time, but we did it a bit more targeted. We kind of went, we've got an hour limit with on the overworld and an hour limit in the nether, and then we get forced to the end. And it was fun, but as we were doing it, everyone was still attacking each other. Everyone was still being very competitive. I remember sitting there going, why is everyone being competitive? This is supposed to be a collaborative event. We're working together. And then realizing, oh no, they're not, they're fighting each other because it's funny and because they're really enjoying it. Maybe I should make an event out of this. And that is how One Heart Heroes was born. It was born because idiots couldn't stop setting each other on fire.
I loved it so much because I just love punching people and them immediately dying. Before I joined, I was with Mighty Brothers 1, and he did ask, when's it coming back? I'm guessing we have no official date on that.
There is no official date.
I know there's no official date.
I will tell you now, it's in development. I want it to run smoothly like an event and not just run off of Redstone, which is how we used to do it. I can tell you now, during this podcast, I've already got 2 DMs from the lovely Bumpy Jake, who I've reached out to help me. I want it to come back, and basically my thing I say is that I've been spoiled by MCC, Mayhem, Mania, and Block Wars, and I feel embarrassed if I don't make an event that's at least somewhat smooth. So that's the whole reason why I went on hiatus, is because I felt embarrassed and wanted to make it cool.
just make it a fake event.
Yeah, it's well nice.
Your fake event is so cool though.
Oh, it's so funny. It's tricking people. Who did I trick recently? It was Toxberry I tricked recently.
Oh no! Oh, that's so sweet. No.
They said they logged onto Twitter and saw the announcement and was so scared. I love that. Was the first ever Minecraft event I was in. Now look at me. I run half of them.
Yeah, you're team maker. While we've mentioned one shot quite a lot, and while we're on the topic of the number one, and I'm not talking about what this podcast is going to be out of 10. You played in one shot over the weekend.
Yes,
thanks to the amazing Insane Orbitzz for inviting you. You were originally a sub because you were planning to come on the podcast a little while back, but you postponed for fair enough reasons. But
yes,
you were a sub because of that until we actually scheduled you in for a day and was like, wait, you being a sub doesn't make sense anymore. Here, you can play.
Which I love that kind of no one put 2 and 2 together of wise wait and not realizing I was going to be on the podcast.
Well, to be fair, in the event we had RB, Toff, Olive Hoodies. None of them are scheduled to come on the podcast. And maybe who knows? Maybe they will make an appearance, but none of them are planned to come on the podcast. There's a few other people. I mean, Firebreath Man literally joined as the event was starting because I didn't reach out to him because his replies to DMs are rough, and he knows this is rough. So I didn't reach out to him to invite him, and then he joined Jack's stream. Was like, I want to play this, and we heard Jack talking about it, and was like, oh, okay, you can join then. But that was we raised 2. Well, I guess we already raised a bit of money beforehand. 1.6k from people reviving themselves or people reviving each other. That was such a good incentive idea. I'm so proud of it. I'm so. And
I want to say, you're welcome for killing Aragon so much that he kept getting revived.
I actually put a hit out on his head, I think, because he had the revive in hand. So I was like, by the way, reminder, guys, Aragon does have a revive. You might want to get him out now so that you can waste it.
I think I killed him twice, and I obviously killed Wolfie twice. I think I'm directly involved for a fair amount of those revives.
But yeah, I didn't really want to talk too much about it. I just, I know your opinions on it. Obviously, I'm assuming you enjoyed it, and they were good opinions.
Oh, I loved it. It was so much fun. And I went into that fully not prepared. I'll be brutally honest with you. I was distracted. I sat down and watched Fallout and completely lost track of time and totally didn't go, oh, what's the time? I'm supposed to be on air in about 30 minutes. Oh no. And rushed on, got everything sorted. And I had no plan, genuinely had no plan, popped in and just randomly just went, maybe we should form a cult. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the cult actually.
The mega cult.
You even had me in it.
I just thought the funniest bit ever would be to form a cult with everyone so that you are allied with everyone and no one would die. And I just thought that would be such a funny bit that obviously would collapse into chaos instantly. And I was fully expecting to be killed. I wasn't expecting to win. I kind of went in there thinking, I'll do that and then I'll try and host, get everyone together and I'll get shot. I full knew that my demise was probably set in stone. But just the thought process of just going around to everyone going, cult? Yeah, what's the cult about? I don't know. We'll figure it out later. And just get everyone to be involved in the same team by just saying cult ? I forgot. That was so funny.
I forgot you people could go in each other's heads. So when you was doing a bit with Generous and you're saying oh god thing, I was typing in chat thinking you were talking to me, and then the entire time I was like, oh, and then I realized after I was like, wait, and then I realized Oracat's in his head with the bloody voice changer.
I swear I had 20 different voices in my head.
Yeah, that makes it a little bit chaotic. But
There was so much fun. They were all, to be fair,
we made sure to invite people who'd be professional. I'm not saying that other people weren't going to be professional. So if you're listening to this, don't think like, oh, I thought you were bad. No, it's not like that. I more mean like we made sure we aimed for podcast guests mostly. Like that was the idea there.
Yeah.
But to fill the non-podcast guests, we made sure to invite people who merged well with like friends and who would be professional. And like Oracat, for example, was a wild card because he is very professional and he's a great guy, but he also does that voice changer shit, and he was doing it, and I was like, oh shit, and I forgot he does this. But then it actually turned out really well. So
he died straight away, and
he was
found it so much fun to just talk in my ear the entire time to be.
And he loved it.
It was so much funny. It was so much fun, so funny. He was so much like props to him. He was the comedic duo that I didn't expect, because that was just like genuinely pure fun. And I think that was so good because everyone wasn't playing competitively and everyone was just coming just straight up like event. Yeah, it was for that was the best thing, I think, because it was a charity and it just meant all the silly things like Aura coming into my ear and going, you have a mission, someone has salmon on the map, find the salmon and whack this other person. Sure, let me go out of my safety and just do that. And I went out and just kept bumping into people going, hey, what are you doing? I'm gonna find a salmon and hit someone with it because God told me to. Bye. It's just the weirdest sentence. I would love to see if anyone who was in that has got clips of me from other people's perspectives.
I know what is public. Oracat's what is public on YouTube.
Oh my God. I just want to see like people who are like not dead, like Jin, for example. Because I wanted to see me walking the distance, just constantly talking to myself.
Jim recorded it, I believe. He didn't stream, but I do believe he recorded it. So you could probably ask him for that footage.
I need to ask him because I'm pretty sure I looked sane.
I think that's a good thing as well, is because when I invited people, I said, by the way, like, you don't have to stream, and that helped get like people like, because like Cameron, for example, only streams once a week, so he was a little bit harder to get. But once I said to him like, you don't need to stream it, you can just play. It's like, oh, okay. And he was a great addition. Like, I think I know Hannah didn't stream it as well because there wasn't that pressure, which was nice. One Shot doesn't normally do this either, which is really good. But I know sometimes events are like you don't have to stream, but we kind of prefer it as in a way to say like you kind of do stream. Whereas we were like, you know what, like we'd prefer it, yeah, because it's for charity. But if you don't, you don't.
Yeah. It was a great time. I was my only bit was running around as a mailman for a bit, and that got me killed. So
kind of jumping back a little bit in time. We've kind of been hopping back and forth, but this is still to do with content creation. During 2022, sorry, you kind of ran your own Hype Beat podcast. I mean, you didn't really upload many episodes. I think you did 2. Should Twitch stop sponsored gambling streams? And you can't do that. Don't get sussed.
You're talking about the WadeBox show, which was it's a talk show, not technically a podcast.
That's why I said podcast type beat.
Yeah, a talk show was the premise behind it. Yes, and that is coming back. I'm actually rebooting my content very soon. I've been talking about this for a long time, wanting to do this for a long time, and then MCC happened. Then everyone kept inviting me to these events, and they kept making me do these parkour courses that make me cry, and I just kept getting distracted by parkour courses that I can't do. And eventually, I've kind of now turned around and went, right, it was so much fun. I still want to do events here and there, but I want to get back to what I originally planned. And those were kind of pilots and tests for making this talk show, and it was really successful. And we did 3 episodes. I've only uploaded 1. The other 2 were done live, and I am bringing it back. I'm rebooting all my content. Due to my nature of my work, it makes it very hard to stream regularly. So I thought, you know what? Because I can't do regular streams, and I literally can only give a regular stream time on a Sunday because I work Monday to Saturday, and it rotates all the time. My hours change depending on inductions and depending on what's going on. The Sundays I seem to have free, so I've gone, do you know what? Sundays are going to be my slot, and I'm going to bring back the WadeBox show on Sundays. Time to be confirmed. Probably going to be 6 or 7 p.m.
Can I be on it?
Yes, you can. 100%. I'd love to have you on.
Oh, W. I actually get invited to something. Let's go. I like talking in case you didn't realize.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You have to be on camera.
I would love to.
See, I could be on camera with my mask.
I mean, actually, do I have to?
You can. Chaos mask.
But I have PNG Tuber.
PNG Tuber would probably work. If you've seen the teasers, I did it with a wonderful, wonderful person called Silver Spirit. They are absolutely lovely. And they did the whole thing with their ghost PNG tube. So yeah, absolutely. But yeah, no, the premise behind the WadeBox shows, I wanted to be kind of like, I work on these morning shows and talk shows and documentaries all the time, and it's very mainstream. And a lot of the time, they don't delve too deep into pop culture and into gaming news. I just feel like no one's giving that justice. You've either got a lot of drama-related tubers and drama-related things, and it's just all about getting the most clicks, or you've got on the other side of things when it does get into the national media, they don't tell the story correctly. It's never felt right. And so I want to give it a go and give my own take. The idea is to kind of do a mixture of a little bit of news, a little bit of discussion, talk show elements, so talking to creators about what they're working on, what they're up to as well. So allowing them an opportunity to advertise. And then like a few little mini game type stuff in between. Essentially, like the type of thing you see like with the Late Late Show and that sort of thing in America. I want to kind of see if I can replicate that for gamers and pop culture enthusiasts, and just give my kind of television twist to it, so to speak. I want to kind of see if I can utilize all that experience and broadcast experience that I've built up over the last 10 years and bring it to my content creation.
Not really a show type idea, but I did announce when I was in Birmingham with AJ about the new series which was going to be called This Month in Minecraft, and it was a really, really cool idea, and I was really, really looking forward to it. It was just going to be like covering the news every single month, nothing controversial, nothing negative, just all like kind of positive news. And then somebody's already doing it, so I was like, yeah, it's fine. Like I mean, they do cover the negative stuff, so I was just going to keep it really positive, and I'm kind of gutted that I don't. But I was like,
there's no problem with multiple people doing it. I always say there's always this mindset in content creation that you have to find a niche, you have to find some brutal honesty that you don't need to. Television doesn't do that. There are morning shows on every single channel. They're all competing, and competition can be healthy. Do what you enjoy and what makes like the same. You're making an amazing podcast right now. You're doing a great job here. You know that there's other podcasts out there. You know there's other gaming podcasts out there, and you know there's other Minecraft podcasts out there. But that's not stopping you guys. So I think if you've got an idea, don't let the fear of I have to be unique stop, because that stopped me for so long. I kept thinking I need to be unique. I need to be special. What is my USP? And I had all these like buzzwords in my head that every single YouTube kind of advisor will feed through to you, and you end up just frozen, not doing anything. I wasn't making things and doing things and experimenting with my content because I was just in fear of the algorithm and fear of these other things. And recently I've had this swift change of heart of going, do you know what? I just want to experiment. Screw the viewers, screw how many views you actually get. Just try out things and experiment and do the things that you enjoy, and then twist it and work it and see if you can make it into something that then is enjoyable for reviewers and hits a niche market or hits an audience.
No, I know, and I still wanted to go ahead with it. There was just other reasons which I'm not going to say on the podcast, but AJ knows. So I can tell you afterwards. But yeah, I'm not going to speak about it. I'm keeping this in. I'm not kind of up. I'm not going to like speak. Okay. I don't want to cause drama. Point is, I had a really cool idea. Was really looking forward to doing it. But with like your talk show, I could show my face, and I would. The thing is, my background is a bit like crap. I want to wait.
My background's terrible. That's why I have a green screen.
No, I know, but my room is really small. So firstly, I can't get a green screen. Secondly, I want to start doing face cam when I'm like satisfied with how my background looks. I like it's part OCD. I don't want to like put a face cam on when I have a horrible background. And I guess I could blur it, but still.
Throw it out there. I mean, you can do. There's a lot of great AI tools now that can break out the background. The thing you can do, even if you don't have an interesting background behind you, you can get a 20 quid LED from Amazon that has like different color grades and things like that. Just shine an interesting color behind you. Just that alone is enough to make it stand out. And it's 3-point lighting, so it kind of gives you a nice little glow behind you.
But my partial OCD.
He does, yeah.
He wouldn't be able to cope. So, but yeah, no, that's very exciting to hear. Looking forward to see what you do with your content creation over the next few months and year and so. And it'll be cool to look back on this podcast when it happens.
Yes, exactly. Maybe we can have you on again.
Exactly.
When it crashes and burns, or when it works. I always say this. Like I kind of make the joke of I fell off after MCC, and now my goal is to rebuild myself and come back again. If it happens, it'll happen. If not, I'm just going to enjoy the journey and just make things I'm proud of.
Exactly. With that being said, then, unless you have anything else to talk about, I believe it's time for the Twitter questions.
Woohoo! I'm ready for Twitter questions.
AJ, you first.
Oh, me first. Okay, I get the honor of going first. Well, I was going to leave AragonTelly to you.
Yes.
AragonTelly. So I'm going to go with, and you sort of already answered this already, but you know it's AragonTelly, so I have to ask it.
You have to ask it. Yes.
Where did you originally find your drive to create content outside of traditional media?
Tomska, as mentioned earlier, and other creators. There's very different creators I love. From there's a guy called Frankie in 1080. I absolutely enjoy. I love the kind of cinematic experiences that he made. Mimio is a Rust content creator who made an amazing video about it was a world war in Rust, and he was playing Rome, and his whole goal was to betray his team. And that whole thing is just a cinematic masterpiece, and I really love seeing those sorts of things. I love seeing the cool, funky things that like Doug does and Ludwig does when they make the kind of show type stuff. I think my goal is I want to try in my YouTube style of things is experiment. I might try a little documentary here and there, because I always had this goal of going, I want to take the experiences that I've got from television and my real life job and see if I can put it into my YouTube stuff. And I've kind of done that a little bit already. I've done a little bit of a live show, a little bit of cinematic stuff. So I kind of want to hit the trifecta and do a documentary / video essay. But I also really enjoy making cinematic stories. So I think I'm going to experiment and try doing some more cinematic stories, and then WadeBox show is going to be my bread and butter of my streams. That's going to be my every Sunday, same time. You can tune into that, and I'll have new guests and they get to showcase their cool stuff. And then Saturdays, when I can break away from television, and if I'm not crying in the corner, I'll then be live then.
There we go. The next one then comes from Avondale, which that's how I pronounce it, but you've been pronouncing it wrong this entire time. Sorry, different this entire time.
I might be pronouncing it wrong.
There's only one way to find out.
I think it was me that pronounced it wrong.
No, you said. No, you said Avondale.
I say Avon. And that might be because I'm thinking of the Avon lady.
Yeah, you say Avondale. I say Avondale. But Avondale, if you're listening to this, please confirm how your name is pronounced. Please let us know who was right. Any fun stories about receiving your MCCR2 winner's coin in the mail?
He knows full well this story. I don't think I've actually ever told this story out loud.
Podcast exclusive.
So, and I'm funny enough because I'm literally fiddling and holding the championship coin right now. So we obviously all got
flex. All right, we get it. Cool.
Oh no, if you want the flex, it's there.
Oh my god! I think the podcast heard that as well. Hopefully, Jesus.
Oh, so the story of the coin. So we all got, and we sent off our addresses, and I was at work, and the coins were supposed to arrive on the weekend. They didn't. They didn't come when they were supposed to, and then I was at work, and that's when I started getting the messages from Chaos and Nomad, and going, "My coin has arrived." Thinking, "Oh no, coins have arrived, and I'm not home." And Royal Mail. Royal Mail. And so I'm looking on my phone. I see we've delivered your package, and I see a picture of a package sticking out of the mail slot. So not even literally sticking out there, not pushed all the way through. And here comes the couple of factors. One, it's sticking out, not pushed in. Two, it wasn't my front door. So They not only did they deliver the coin and didn't deliver it properly, they didn't even take it to the right door, and it was completely the wrong, like 10 numbers different, completely the wrong door, not even close. So I rush home, and I'm looking everywhere and can't see it at their door, can't see that they've actually delivered it to mine. So in the morning I go round to the neighbors and I'm knocking on their door. They eventually open the door and I say, "Hey, I think you might have a package for me." No, nothing's arrived. And I was crying my eyes out, thinking that I've just lost my championship trophy. And it was just this whole freak out. I was messaging Avondale and I'm so sorry. And I was freaking out because I also thought this might have my name in it. And therefore, if someone's stolen it, because the neighbor's saying that they didn't have it. So that means that it was left in the door and someone's nicked it. So I'm thinking a bad person has nicked my trophy and now has my name and address. And, there's not many people who've won MCCR, right?
Yeah.
So it's
easy to narrow that down. Yeah,
I was so scared, and I messaged Avondale and the team, and everyone over at Nox Crew are the loveliest people in the world. They are so kind, they're so wonderful. We still chat with them. We still actually been getting involved and stuff. I think I want to go meet all of them if I can get to TwitchCon as well. And they managed to switch the order around. This was after we were like checking everywhere, being 100% sure that it has been stolen. And then they re-delivered it, signed for this time to my workplace instead to triple down and make sure that it arrived. And I now have my coin next to them. But that was such a
so you never actually found the original. It was genuinely just stolen.
No, the original has been stolen. So someone somewhere has the 5th season 3 MC Championship winning coin, and I don't know if they realize what they've got. I haven't seen it on eBay yet.
I desperately want this.
So I wonder if Avondale is asking me to do this because he wants everyone to he wants this mad gold rush of everyone to try and find this coin. I think that might.
This is my new life's mission.
Everyone's now going to be searching everywhere for this. Here, folks. There's a gold coin out there for you. You know, that's the thought process right now.
So it could have been your neighbors. They could have just taken it and told you they don't have it.
It could have been, but they played Call of Duty. I think they're fine. Maybe.
Because it's weird. We've had like some stuff delivered to our house before. We're just like, what? And then we've like left it for like a week or two, and no one's came to claim it. So I've opened it. And like one was like a PS5 controller skin. I was like, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this. Another one was like a belt. I was like, cool. I was like, well, why are these at my house? I left it for like 2 weeks, and no one came. So I was like, oh, you know, I'm just gonna open it, I guess. You know, if no one's coming for it. It didn't have a return dress. It didn't have anything else on it. I was like, oh, like yeah.
So you're saying that you stole my gold coin? You have it.
Wait, hold on. Where's my pride one? Wait, I was gonna ding it, but I actually can't. I actually don't. Oh, wait. Oh, you didn't hear me say pride. Wait. Yeah, you can hear it here. Wait, can you hear this? Yeah. Oh no, I can't ding it like you can.
This is a terrible bit.
Here we go.
There you go. I'm smacking my mic. Sorry for you.
Oh god, it's so bad.
There you go. I have your pride coin here.
You've completely forgotten the fact that you could actually just record yourself flicking the coin and add it back in.
No, I can't flick it. I don't know how to. Ding. There you go.
Do you not know how to flick a coin?
No, I'm flicking it right. It's hurting my finger. Anyways. Next question, AJX.
Okay, next question is from the lovely Ripcord, and I feel like I know the answer to this one. But I have bias for.
Well, this isn't a Pride coin. This is season 3 coin. It's not Pride. I didn't get the Pride one. Sorry, carry on as you were.
I have both of those. I have bias for several reasons on this question. But what is your favorite Minecraft event?
I mean, obviously, it's going to be of course, like it has to. But that's because you can't beat the whole culture and nature that happened around that. But if we exclude MCC and then look at all the other events and things like that I've done, I would say that one of my favorite ones I've done has actually been a city event done by Wraith Station. Because Wraith is wonderful and they make amazing little events. And the reason why it's one of my favorites is because I absolutely hated it. Because they infamously, there was a race at the beginning. It was a Christmas event and my texture pack didn't work. So I couldn't see my boat. And trying to do this boating course, and I couldn't see my boat, was just terrible, absolutely horrible. I was so stressed out. But somehow, Aragon, who was my teammate, and I managed to be the first team to cross the finishing line, and I felt so good, so very good. And I go back and I see the wonderful Bubblebrook, last place, just collecting all of these little gingerbread things called guppies, and they're not actually racing. Yeah, just chasing these gingerbread men. And we're like, come on, Bubble, you can do it. You believe in yourself, you can do it. They finally crossed the finishing line. Me and Aragon felt so good. And then it comes to the results and the points. And Bubble is in first place because all of those blooming gingerbreads that they got just rocketed them in the lead with so many extra points. And I was so salty that I've never let Rafe live that down. So that event is like, it's so memorable in my head because it's just, I've always turned around and like, we need to make sure we don't have a gingerbread situation. And I just constantly kept bringing that up to Rafe every single time when they go, oh, yeah, I'm doing this event here. I'm doing this. Like, great. Is it going to be gingerbread men? Is there? Is there?
My final Twitter question here. So if you have another one, go ahead, AJ. It's from Aaron is Peakle. Why do you like wearing hats so much? As a fellow hat enjoyer, I gotta know.
I like wearing a flat cap, but there's that's actually, I saw that question and I thought it was really funny because I thought it's not just like the answer's obvious because Wade's bald, but
keeps your head warm.
No, the reality was I think I wore it for MCC. It was not planned. It was totally not planned. I think I couldn't get to the hairdressers, and my hair is, I am balding, but I get really thick side hair and it looks stupid. And so I just put on the flat cap that I had, and I need to let everyone know here, I look terrible in hats. the flat cap seems to be the only thing I look good in. And I'm genuine. I have got an Australian hat. I've got baseball caps. I have tried every hat under the sun because I knew that I was going bald. And I just wanted to find something that looked cool at work. But I have this weird face that pinches near my ears. Everything I put on my head just stupid. It looked like my face was squeezing out of it. For some reason, flat caps worked. And so that is the reason why I wear a flat cap now, because apparently it's a style. People said that they really liked it. And because it works. And I'm really happy that I found something that works. So it's not why do you wear hats? It's why do I wear specifically flat caps? It's because I look terrible in everything else.
Do you have another one, AJ, or is that?
I was gonna one last question, and you mentioned him before. So when will you drop the next getting off update video?
You didn't even say who it's on. You didn't even say who asked.
From Rice in Real Time. My bad.
Okay. So this goes back to One Heart Heroes and Rice. So for the last One Heart Heroes, about over a year ago, I did an introduction video for all the contestants to explain how the game worked, because this is the problem of why I'm waiting so long and why I wanted to be coded, is because there was a lot of kind of honor rules. So we had to explain these honor rules. And so I'm going to do a funky video because no one reads my notes. No one reads my letters. I'm going to do a video. And I started it off with going like, "What's up, adventurers?" or "What's up, heroes? You're soon going to be jetting off to the land of One Heart Heroes," in a over-the-top steady voice. And I did that as a private video for the contestants, and I think it became a meme. And now everyone keeps coming up to me and going, "We are jetting off again. When are we jetting off, Wade?" I'm like, I made that joke and I regret it so much.
So when are we jetting off again?
Before the end of the year.
Oh, okay.
At TwitchCon, we can jet off together at TwitchCon.
You can jet off to TwitchCon, yeah.
Actually, I just realized that's a mad sentence. Anyway, with that being said, then WadeBox, that sadly brings the end of the Midweek MC podcast.
We have nattered for a very long time.
We have. It's been an honour, though.
I have enjoyed this. Yeah,
we've spilled the tea.
We've definitely spilled the tea.
Sorry. Before I do the outro here, we always like to give this opportunity for you to promote yourself. You know, they've heard you waffle away for long enough, and they might have found you interesting. Who knows? And if they have, they might, and they don't know who you are, they might want to find out where to find you so they can listen to more content. Especially, what was the name of it again? The WadeBox Show. No,
the WadeBox Show.
Oh, yes. I got it right. Perfect. So, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me everywhere at WadeBox. So that's YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Twitter, formerly known as X. You can find me as WadeBox everywhere. Best way to keep in touch is via Discord and Twitter. I will be putting up my full schedule very, very soon, and you'll probably see me mostly around on Sundays at Twitch and YouTube.
There you go.
I was going to say thank you for coming on, Wade. It's been a pleasure.
It's been great. Did I follow the script? I haven't got any fake paper. Can you put some fake paper, Russ? Did I say the script? Did I follow the script? Yeah.
I'm sorry. This is all fake, isn't it? I don't fake my podcast, so I'm not gonna edit any noises in.
Whoosh, 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 whoosh.
That's why I didn't go and edit the coin back in. That's why I made the dinging noise live on the podcast, because I don't lie. We don't lie here. AJ, welcome back. I hope you've been well. How are you doing today, Wade? Sorry. This has been the Midweek MC podcast. Thank you both. You're so amazing. WadeBox, I love your voice so much. Never stop using that voice. Don't.
I will keep talking.
Keep talking. Don't be careful what you promise, because I've always learned not to break promises. So you will promise to try your best. There you go. And AJ, yes. I seriously though, welcome back. I'm glad you are back, thank you for joining us today.
And we're going on a break now, so
we're going on a break for a week. Well, for 1 week, I'm in Germany, and because nobody else is going to record the podcast without me, because I'm the go, and nobody's going to edit it to my standards because I'm the go. Thank you all for listening.
I'm going to now record a podcast.
Midweek MC. He's going to go record his silly little Strikers podcast, which is also on break, funny enough. Stay safe. Don't eat too much bread. Pieces.
Bye.
Bye.